Welcome back to the deep dive, everyone. We're here again to cut through the noise and give you that solid understanding of complex topics. Today, we're diving into something that sounds simple, but trust me, it's got layers. Selling a home, asses. And a lot of our insights today, well, they come from some great research, including a really helpful blog post by Don and Susie Karstedt over at Rethinking Real Estate in Lake Tapps, Washington. They shed a lot of light on this. So, our mission. Let's really unpack what ASSIS means in real estate. Who's actually buying these places and, when does it actually make sense for you, the seller? Get ready for some surprises. Okay, so let's start right there. When someone says they're selling ASSIS, what does that actually mean? Beyond just, what you see is what you get. What are the key things we need to grasp?
That's the perfect starting point. Because ASSIS sounds so final, right? Like take it or leave it. But what it technically means is simply that the seller is stating up front, I'm not making any repairs or updates before we close. The house is being sold in its current condition, warts and all, basically.
Okay, so it's about the seller's intention regarding repairs.
Exactly. But here's a huge point of confusion. It absolutely does not mean the buyer can't inspect the property.
Ah, right. I could see people thinking that.
Oh, yeah. Most buyers, especially savvy ones looking at as-is homes, are definitely going to get an inspection. They need to know what they're potentially buying. And here's the kicker. If that inspection turns up, say, a huge foundation crack or a completely shot roof, the buyer can still try to renegotiate the price based on those findings. Or, they can just walk away from the deal altogether.
So the as-is part just means the seller isn't obligated to fix things found in the inspection.
Precisely. It shifts the expectation. The buyer knows going in that they will be responsible for any fixes, not the seller. It sets the stage for negotiation, but from a different starting point.
Okay, that's clear. But here's where it gets really interesting for me. The legal side. Even selling as-is, you can't just hide known problems, can you? What must you still disclose?
No, absolutely not. And this is critical. Selling as-is is not a license to conceal known issues. In most places, you are legally required to disclose any known material defects. These are significant problems that could affect the home's value or safety.
And what counts as material, like a leaky faucet, or are we talking bigger things?
We're generally talking bigger things. The Karstedt's work highlights common examples. Things like known major water damage, maybe chronic leaks you're aware of, foundation issues are a big one, any structural problems.
Right.
Mold, especially if it's a known ongoing issue, serious electrical or plumbing problems, not just minor stuff, but systemic issues, and significant roof damage, like active leaks, or, if half the shingles are gone. Major pest infestations you know about, too.
Okay, so the key word there is known. What if you just suspect something?
It really hinges on what you know. If you're aware of a problem and you don't disclose it, and the buyer finds out later, well, you could be facing serious legal trouble, lawsuits, damages. It's not worth the risk.
Wow. So as this is about repairs, not about transparency, that's a crucial takeaway.
Exactly. It's about not doing the work, not about hiding the problems.
So knowing all this, what kind of message does that as-is label send to buyers? How does it shape how they even look at the property?
It sends a very strong signal. Instantly, buyers assume the house needs work. Maybe a little, maybe a lot.
Okay.
They automatically start factoring potential repair costs into their mental calculation of the home's value. They also tend to assume the seller wants a faster, less complicated sale.
And because of that, they expect a lower price, right?
Definitely. They expect the price to reflect the condition and the fact that they're taking on the burden of repairs. It signals discount opportunity to many buyers. And this naturally narrows the pool of potential buyers quite a bit.
How so?
Well, think about buyers using certain types of loans. It's like FHA or VA loans. These government-backed loans have minimum property standards, MPRs they call them, for safety and livability.
Ah, okay. Like peeling paint or no working heat?
Exactly. Things like that, or maybe unsafe wiring, a leaky roof, sitting handrails, stuff that wouldn't pass their strict appraisal or inspection requirements. An as-is home might have several of those issues, making it ineligible for that kind of financing unless repairs are made. Sometimes, even with as-is, a lender might require the seller to fix certain basic safety things for the loan to proceed.
So it pushes you towards buyers who maybe have cash or different financing options.
Precisely. It funnels you towards a more specific group.
Okay, that leads perfectly to my next question. If you're narrowing the pool, who are these buyers actively looking for as-is properties? What makes them tick?
Right. You're attracting a niche market, really. The main groups are pretty distinct. First, you've got your investors or flippers. These folks are looking for properties they can buy low, fix up, and sell for a profit. As this is basically their bread and butter. They expect issues and have the resources to handle them.
Makes sense. They see potential value others might miss.
Exactly. Then there are cash buyers. These are golden for asset sellers because they aren't dealing with lenders or appraisals.
So faster closing.
Much faster. Often could be days or weeks instead of months. They might be investors or just people with the funds who want to avoid mortgage hassles. Speed is their big advantage. You also get buyers looking for a discount, maybe DIY types. They want to live in the house, but are willing to put in sweat equity. They see asses as a way to get into a neighborhood they couldn't otherwise afford, perhaps.
Yeah, trading work for a lower entry price.
Right. And finally, sometimes, especially in hot locations, you might attract developers or builders. They might not care about the house at all. They just want the land. The as-is house is just something to tear down and replace. Its condition is almost irrelevant to them.
Interesting range of motivations there.
Yeah, and what's key is that for a house needing a lot of work, selling as actually streamlines things. You're not trying to please everyone. You're targeting the buyers who want this kind of project or can handle it easily.
So it avoids wasting time and money on fixes that might not even pay off for the right buyer.
Exactly. You avoid potentially throwing good money after bad, trying to make it perfect for a general audience when your real audience is looking for potential, not perfection.
That's a really smart way to look at it. Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room then. Pricing. This seems like the trickiest part. How do you price an asset's home so you attract those buyers but don't, give it away?
Pricing is absolutely paramount. You get it wrong and your house just sits there. If you price an ass's home like it's move-in ready or even close to it, buyers won't even bother looking. They'll see the as-is tag, see the high price, and think the seller is unrealistic.
Red flag right away.
Big red flag. The key is to price it based on its current condition, really factoring in what a buyer would reasonably need to spend to fix the known and maybe even some unknown issues. You have to make it look like a genuine opportunity.
So start lower than comparable fixed-up homes.
Definitely lower. And actually, a smart strategy, particularly as the market's busy, can be to price it just slightly below its estimated SIMDA.
Really? Below value? Why?
It sounds counterintuitive, I know,
Yeah.
but pricing it attractively low can spark interest, generate buzz, and hopefully trigger multiple offers.
A potential bidding war.
Exactly. Get those investors and discount seekers competing, and you might actually drive the price up past what you initially thought you could get. It's about creating demand.
That's clever, but it sounds like you really need solid advice to pull that off.
Oh, absolutely. This is where a good real estate agent who understands the assets market is worth their weight in gold.
What specifically can they help with here?
Several key things. First, they can help you get a realistic estimate of repair costs. They know contractors, they know local prices, they could look at the peeling paint, the old furnace, the dated kitchen, and give you a ballpark figure of what a buyer will likely spend.
Okay, so they help you see it through the buyer's financial lens.
Precisely. Second, they find the right comparable sales or comps. Not just any house that's sold nearby, but other as-is or distressed properties. How much did they sell for, given their condition? That's crucial data.
Right, comparing apples to apples, or maybe fixer-uppers to fixer-uppers.
Exactly. And third, using those repair estimates and the right comps, they help you set a strategic list price, one that reflects reality, attracts the target buyers, and positions you for the best possible outcome, whether that's a quick sale or a bidding war.
It really highlights that specialized knowledge, doesn't it? What's the real value add of an agent who gets as-is sales versus one who maybe doesn't specialize?
The value is huge. An agent unfamiliar with as-is might push you to make repairs that won't pay off, or they might misprice it based on standard comps, leading to stagnation or leaving money on the table. Someone experienced knows how to market it effectively to the right niche, manage those buyer expectations about condition, and navigate the negotiations, which often revolve around inspection findings and repair credits. They protect you financially and legally, really.
Okay, that makes total sense. So pulling this all together, when is selling as not just an option, but maybe the best option? What are those specific situations?
Yeah, there are definite scenarios where as-is becomes the most logical, even advantageous path. The most obvious is when the seller simply doesn't have the time or the money for repairs, life circumstances, job loss, relocation, health issues. Sometimes tackling renovations just isn't feasible. As-is removes that burden.
Okay, lack of resources or time. What else?
Homes that have been vacant or neglected for a long time, these often have a pileup of deferred maintenance, maybe Plumbing issues, pests, overgrown landscaping, the sheer scale of work can be overwhelming. Selling as is passes that project onto someone equipped for it.
Right, like an investor.
Exactly. Another big one is inherited homes or estate sales. Often the heirs live far away, they're grieving, dealing with probate. They usually just want a clean, simple transaction to settle the estate. They don't want to become landlords or project managers.
Speed and simplicity are key there.
Absolutely. And that ties into the last main one, situations needing a very quick sale.
Yeah.
Be a sudden job transfer across the country, or a financial emergency requiring fast liquidation of assets. An asset sale, especially to a cash buyer, can close incredibly quickly compared to a traditional sale with financing and repair negotiations.
So it's often driven by the seller's specific circumstances.
Very much so. And the key to making it work, as Don and Susie Karsta point out in their insights, is being realistic. Realistic about the house's true condition, realistic about what the market will bear for that condition, and realistic about your own timeline and needs. Get those aligned, and Asses is a powerful strategic tool.
That's a fantastic summary. It really shifts the perspective, doesn't it? It's not just, I have a problem house. It's, given my situation and my property's condition, this is the most strategic way to sell. It's a calculated choice. Wow, okay, that was quite the deep dive. We really unpacked selling as is today. We clarified it means the seller won't do repairs, but buyers absolutely still inspect and can negotiate or walk away based on findings. Crucially, we hit on the legal need to disclose all known major issues. As is isn't about hiding things. Then we looked at how that as is tech signals needs work and discount expected to buyers, narrowing the pool but targeting specific groups like investors, cash buyers, and DIYers. And we wrapped up with the critical role of realistic pricing, maybe even pricing slightly below market to generate buzz, and identified those key scenarios like lack of funds, inherited properties, or needing a quick sale, where as is often the smartest move.
Absolutely. And it brings us to a final thought, perhaps. Thinking about ass selling isn't just for people with fixer-uppers. It actually teaches a valuable lesson for any home sale. It forces you to master the art of realistic valuation, managing expectations, both yours and the buyer's, and finding the right strategic position for your property in the current market. It's about understanding the value isn't just about perfection. It's about potential and circumstance, too.
That's a brilliant takeaway. Understanding the extremes helps you navigate the middle ground better. Fantastic point. Well, thank you for joining us on this illuminating deep dive. We hope you feel much more equipped to understand the nuances of asset sales now. Keep exploring, stay curious, and join us next time for another deep dive.